Who's that rascal with the tweezers in his pocket? Everyone knows it's Butters.
That's me.
I'm about to show you a clip that is blatant and insane tyranny. Honestly, though, I don't blame Joe Biden for this insane tyrannical statement. He is clearly a puppet. He has dementia. It's very sad. He can barely see through the clouds of dementia long enough to make out the statement. He gets mixed up halfway through and confused. But the people who own Joe Biden, the Goldman Sachs, Facebook, Soros, globalist elite, that type, the ones writing the statements he's trying as hard as he can to read, they are openly tyrannical in intention.
I might add, the Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water in the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you want to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned and who can own it.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, big guy? You gonna nuke Charleston, nuke Dallas right after that? Gonna start carpet bombing Louisiana and Florida in order to enforce a police state? For tyranny, you need boots on the ground. You need police officers, army on every street corner enforcing it. That's what militias with rifles are for. An armed citizenry is required to remove a tyrannical government. I think the US government of all people should understand what radicalized people in the mountains with long rifles can do to a conventional warfare unit. Also, did you just insinuate that if there was an uprising against the US government, that you would be willing to indiscriminately slaughter millions of US civilians with nuclear warheads? That's pretty epic, my man. The most disturbing and tyrannical thing that comes from this statement isn't even the weird power trip that he goes on, but rather the understanding of the power dynamic of the Constitution that the government seems to be presenting. The Constitution was not created as a limitation on the rights of the people by the government. The government did not come down to the people and say, "Well, here you go. Here's the Constitution, a gift from the government to the people. We believe you deserve these rights. You earned them. Congratulations. We're just so benevolent." The intention of the Constitution is to shackle the government. It was the people who created the Constitution and handed the Constitution to the government and said, "This is your contract. If you infringe upon this contract, we will pick up our rifles and we will kill you." I do not own a gun because the government allows me to, because the government has bestowed me with the right so generously. I own a gun because I am a free man. Inalienable rights do not come from the government. They come from God. And one last thing. You remember that quote that Joe Biden was trying to say before his dementia flared up? It's a quote from Thomas Jefferson, our founding father. And unfortunately, he forgot to say the last word of that quote. So I'll read it back properly. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
If you look inside yourself, you might be surprised when you find a little boy named Butters.
Well, that's me.